Look.
Good morning. It's Monday, the first day of September 2025. And I'm so excited about this new month. Like it's Ember month and we are counting down to December 2025. What a good way to enter a new month. August was beautiful and I believe that September is going to be great. Happy new month to you. My name is Odili and you are welcome to High Voltage on Volt 104.3 FM. This is High Voltage, where we review and analyze the news and talk about issues affecting us as citizens of Nigeria, things ranging from politics, education, health, and other topical stories making rounds in the country. Okay, so we are live on YouTube this morning. Please subscribe to our channel on High Voltage News. Like, comment, share the video, and you can also join us live on the studio by calling our phone lines or sending an SMS or WhatsApp message, depending on the one that is more convenient for you. So yes, you can call us on 0706 048 5853. Alternatively, you can call us on 0915 570 8347. Okay, so this morning, how we do it, we are going to be looking at who went for the TCAD 9 in Japan and as well went to Brazil after that, and also the story of the NYSC lady and the vigilantes in Anambra State. Yes, we talked about it here on the show. And the Dangote truck and the FINA incident. Sadly, yesterday we heard the story of the passing away of FINA's sister. So we've seen what these truck accidents, the damage it can cause in the lives of the citizens. So we lost one. So people are bleeding as a result of this carelessness and bad roads or lack of maintenance of the trucks, so it's costing a lot. And also we've been hearing news of ASU strikes and NLC threats to the government. And okay, so that's most of the things that happened last month. And we're moving on. We'll be looking at the newspaper headlines this morning to stay away on what is happening in our country. Okay, so we are starting with the Punch newspaper. On the headline, Rivers local government poll, Atiku demands annulment as Wike reasserts control. Atiku demands annulment as Wike reasserts control. Over the weekend, Rivers State had the election for the local government elections, and we saw the result that over 20 chairmanship went to APC, and Atiku is not happy about that. So most of the other party members, they are not happy from what happened, because the recent local government elections, it has caused a lot of political tension amongst the other party members. And former Vice President Atiku Abubakar is asking for the annulment. And of course, this usually happens when politicians feel that the results were unfair. Because how can out of 23 seats, APC took over 20, while PDP got just 3 seats, 3 positions. So it's not making sense to him. So he feels like Wike has a lot of power in Rivers State. And already we remember the crisis going on in Rivers State already. We saw over the past months how the President Tinubu, declared a state of emergency in Rivers State and also suspended the Governor Fubara, and most of the elected offices. So it's enough reason to cause concerns for this position, because Governor Fubara is a PDP, and then is not really getting Like, how can a sitting governor not get more positions in an election? So it feels like Wike is working underground in Rivers State and doing a lot of things to ensure that they are preparing ahead of 2027 general elections, to ensure that the the more positions occupied is from APC. So he's really not happy about it, and is calling for annulment, that they should annul the election and do it again, redo it again. And I also feel that is really, I don't understand why elections, because a lot of people have come out to explain that it's undemocratic for elections to be holding when the sitting governor is not in office, and he's been suspended, and some of the elected positions, they are suspended. So election is not supposed to be holding. So some people came to criticize this action. So most of the things that should be happening in Nigeria should be democratic. I mean, we're in a democratic state, but it feels like some military rules is still guiding us, and is really not the right thing, not the proper thing to be done. Okay, all right. So still on the Punch newspaper, moving on. Reps deny alleged planned showdown with speaker. Reps deny alleged planned showdown with speaker. So there were rumors that some members of the House of Representatives are planning a confrontation with the Speaker of the House. However, the House has officially denied these claims, and they are saying that there's no such plan. There's no plan to confront the Speaker of the House, and we don't know why the rumor came out at first, because we believe that in every rumor there's a truth. Maybe there was a plan, and this denial is like an attempt to calm the nerves, and also to prevent unnecessary conflicts amongst them. All right, so moving on. Northwest leads in Federal Executive Council projects with 5.9 trillion naira. Federal government says Northwest leads in Federal Executive Council projects with 5.9 trillion naira. So they are trying to explain that everyone is included in President Tinubu's reforms. Every rehabilitation, everything that he's trying to do is including everyone in Nigeria. Nobody is being neglected. So, and they're saying that the Northwest has received the highest share of these Federal Executive Council projects. So projects like roads, hospitals, schools, and all that. So they believe that the Northwest have received more of this, more than any other geopolitical zones. So nobody's left out. That's what they are trying to say. Nobody's left out. The North, the South, the South is South. Everyone is part of President Tinubu's agenda to ensure that the country moves forward. Okay, so still on the Punch newspaper, Clap Foundation debuts to provide justice for the underprivileged. Clap Foundation debut to provide justice for the underprivileged. So the Clap Foundation is a new organization that's launched to provide legal help to the poor and underdeveloped people. So we see it's a welcome development, because most of the things that we see in Nigeria, we see that most times people, especially the poor, the vulnerable, those who cannot speak up for themselves, rarely have people speaking up for them. So this Clap Foundation, they are there to speak up, to act on behalf of the poor, those that cannot stand up for themselves. So it is a welcome development. Okay, so it's a very positive one, because a lot of Nigerians are facing these challenges of not getting justice when they need it. So it's really a good one. All right, so let's look and know if there's still more thing on the Punch newspaper. Okay, Tinubu police mourns as SIG dies at 69. Tinubu police mourns as SIG, that is at 69. So the former Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Abubakar, has passed away at the age of 69. So President Bola Tinubu and officials from the police forces, they have expressed sadness at his death. So, and this I believe he was a prominent figure in Nigerian law enforcement, and his passing is significant for the police community and those who follow this career. So this type of news often make people reflect on leadership and law enforcement reforms and the legacy left by past officials, because when you are in office, you ensure that you do the right thing, so that when you leave, you are leaving a legacy behind. People are talking good of you and not just crying out and when you didn't do anything for the citizens, for the community, for the country. So whatever position you find yourself in, ensure that you are doing the right things. Okay, so that's I believe that's what we have on the Punch newspaper, and we'll be moving to this day newspaper. Okay, this day newspaper. Chatham House: corruption undermining Nigeria's economic growth and eroding public trust. Says government interference, inadequate funding hindering anti-graft war. So the Chatham House we are talking about is a UK-based policy institute. And it's saying that corruption in Nigeria is one of the biggest reasons for the country's slow economic growth, and which I agree with that, because corruption, yes, it is one of the biggest reasons for Nigerians' slow economic growth. So it weakens the public trust in government. It wastes resources because people are there looting money. People are there collecting, embezzling money that is supposed to be channeled into other things, into economic growth, into ensuring that Nigeria grows beyond what we are currently in. So they are trying to, because this thing discourages foreign investment. When you come to a particular society and you see that corruption has eaten deep into the organization, into the society, you would be afraid, you would be scared to invest in that society. So it's really a correct one when they say that corruption is causing stunted economic growth in Nigeria. So we've seen it. We are living in Nigeria and we see what it's doing in our various individual lives. So yes, they also add that government interference, poor funding, and weak anti-graft agencies make it very hard to fight corruption, because it's supposed to start from the top. And when you look at our individual lives, in our own families, in our small system, in our small groups, we see that it's also affecting us. See that instead of being honest, you see people lying just because of what they want to get from it. You see people defending the unjust because of what they are going to get out of it. So this corruption of a thing is really causing a lot for us in Nigeria. Is really causing a lot. It's something that we need to work on, ensure that in any way we can, ensure that we try as much as possible to reduce the corruption in the government, in the offices, wherever it is that we find ourselves. Let's be the change that we want to see. Okay, still on the This Day newspaper, you see that Union Bank finalizes merger with Titan Trust Bank. Okay, so Union Bank has finalized the merger with Titan Trust Bank, and it creates a bigger financial institution. Like they've merged, so they will now operate as one bank. So Union Bank and Titan Trust Bank will operate as one bank. And it's one of the biggest deal in the Nigerian banking sector in recent years. Okay, all right. So it's going to create opportunities for customers as well. It's going to create better services and stronger banking system for the customers. And but at the same time, though, it can lead to job losses as the new management tries to cut costs. It can lead to, but then it is a good one. Yes, it is a good one. All right, so on this day newspaper, Keyamo, PDP in legal risk fielding Jonathan in 2025. PDP in legal risk fielding Jonathan in 2027. Okay, Festus Keyamo, the Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, has warned the People's Democratic Party that it may face legal trouble if it fields former President Goodluck Jonathan in the 2027 elections. So he claims that Jonathan is not eligible under the Constitution to contest again. We know that as they said that he has already served his 8 years in office, so he's not supposed to be fielded as the next the next presidential candidate. He's not supposed to run for the position of the presidency. So it does make sense, because once you've done your 8 years in office, you're not supposed to come back. But the PDP reacted to him, and they were like, he doesn't have the right to tell them who to bring out as their presidential candidates. That Keyamo does not have the right to do so. So they decide as a party who they want as their presidential candidate. Okay. So moving on, still on the This Day newspaper, El-Rufai, Tinubu will come third in presidential election. So El-Rufai says Tinubu will come third in presidential election. So El-Rufai is the former governor of Kaduna State, and he's saying that President Bola Tinubu will not win the next presidential election, and because he believes that Tinubu's government has failed to deal with insecurity and other national issues. And if we look at it, we see that honestly there's been a lot of insecurity in Nigeria, and nobody would want to vote in someone who was not able to tackle some of the issues we are facing as citizens in the country. Of course, is the honest truth. When you see that the person that you put in position to help you to do some certain things, to ensure that you live safe, to ensure that you are protected, it is not really, you're not seeing that work in that area. You see, in terms of hardship, a lot is going wrong in the country. So it's so certain that because of these issues, that Nigerians will not vote President Tinubu into office again. So he believes that he's not going to win, that we should leave the presidential candidacy for other people, the position for other people, other candidates. So we are Nigerians, we are going to determine whether the ruling party will come back and rule us again in 2027, or if another party is going to come back and rule us. So it depends on us. So that's why we need to, as the voters card registration is ongoing, we need to go and register and cast our votes, because everything is dependent on us. No matter what they say, it's who we vote that matters. It's who we want that stays in position, that comes in as the new president in 2027. So ensure that you have your voters card ready, and just get it ready and wait. If you're up to 18 and you don't have your voters card, this is the right time to go and register for one. Okay. All right. So let's see if there's another thing on this day newspaper. Okay, we already saw this on the Punch newspaper. Northwest, North Southwest has lion's share of Tinubu's projects. We already read that. Okay. All right. So we'll move on to, let's see, another newspaper headline. So we'll move on to Daily Sun. Daily Sun newspaper. Government empowering bandits. El-Rufai says government is empowering bandits. And remember, you can join us live on the studio by calling us on 0706 048-5853 or 0915-570-8347. And also we are live on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel on High Voltage News. Like, comment, and share the video. Okay, so we are going back to, on the Daily Sun, government empowering bandits. El-Rufai says, and he accuses Cardinal government of paying bandits 1 billion naira. Okay, so he claims that the government is giving bandits money, food, and even allowances, all in the name of peace talks, all in the name of we want to be at peace. So please take anything you want, take all the money you want, take all the food you want, just for us to be at peace. And you see that in some of these northern states, some of these bandits are working freely. Once they agree on those peace talks, they just work freely. The marketplaces, everywhere, and nothing is being done. Nothing is being done to capture them. Every day we keep hearing stories of people that died, people that were killed, and we are wondering, what is the government doing about it? What are they doing to curb insecurity, to ensure that people's lives are safe again? So El-Rufai is saying that the government are the ones empowering bandits. We do not know how true this is. It might just be another allegation, but what we are after is, why is the government not doing anything about insecurity in the northern states? Every day people are dying, and it's so wrong. It's so wrong that most of them even know the names of the people behind this. They know the people killing them. They have of course they have meetings, because for you to have peace talks, it means you invited those people over to talk with them. So how do you invite them without involving the police, the security personnel, to just capture them? So why are they being left to work freely amongst the community, in the community? Why are they being left to do that? So it raises a lot of concerns as to why El-Rufai says that it's the government that is empowering them. Okay, so outrage over burning of woman in Niger, still on Daily Sun newspaper. So in Niger State, as at Saturday, over this weekend, a woman was burnt in Niger State. We will go into the details later on. We'll go into the details. Okay, so again on the Daily Sun, Justice Minister Andaka attacks alias slogan and calls it undemocratic. So he is criticizing the former Minister of Justice, Michael Antwaka. He criticizes Benue State Governor, alias political slogan. He says the slogan is undemocratic and does not give space for fair competition. So he's warning that politics should be open and fair. And of course, yes, democracy is open and fair, and not controlled by just one person or a group of persons. Because democracy, as we were taught back then, is the government of the people, by the people, and of the people. But what we've seen in Nigeria is really not democracy. Most of the things going on is not democracy. One person makes the order, and everyone is forced to obey it. You don't have freedom of speech. You don't have freedom of to talk, to say your own mind, to talk, to decide what you want. So it's really. So politics is about choice and freedom. If a leader uses a slogan or campaign style that looks like dictatorship, it should not be allowed. Then politics is in danger. Okay? All right, so let's go. Lastly, we have the Vanguard newspaper. That will be the last newspaper headline we'll be looking at this morning. So on the Vanguard newspaper, we see that petrol consumption down 28%. Ipman grows. Petrol consumption down 28%. Ipman grows. So we see that the petrol consumption in Nigeria has dropped by 28% in the last 2 years. And many fuel workers, many petrol station workers are left idle because fewer people buy petrol. This might be as a result of no money or increase in the fuel prices, because a lot of people they are going for other alternatives. Why do we have to spend so much on buying petrols when we can just get solar and put in our homes, put in our organization? So it has cost a lot because of the increase in prices, because of the costly price of the fuel, of the petrol. People are using alternatives like gas and solar. So it has led to the consumption down by 28%. All right, still on the Vanguard newspaper, we see that Tinubu has been fair to all sections of Nigeria. Federal government says that Tinubu has been fair to all sectors of Nigeria. Okay, and let's see if there's any other thing. Wage increase. NECA NLC urges states to emulate Imo and Ebonyi states. So NLC, they are urging states, other states, to emulate Imo and Ebonyi state. Last month, just few weeks ago, or last week as well, Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma increased the minimum wage of civil workers to 104,000 naira from the 70,000 naira federal government has implemented. And also in Ebonyi State, Governor Francis Rufuru also increased the minimum wage from 70,000 naira to 90,000 naira. So the Nigerian Labour Congress, they are asking all state governors, which is a very good act, to increase their own minimum wage. So because this is Nigeria, I don't know how some people can survive on 70,000 naira. Even though they've increased it, because there's a lot going on that you have to spend your money on feeding the rent, and how do you make only 70,000 naira and we survive? So is something that the governors need to look into, increasing the minimum wage of their workers, of their netizens. All right, so that is what we have on the newspaper headlines. Remember that if you have any opinion, any comments on what we've read so far, you can call us on 0706 048 5853, or you can call us on 0915 570 8347 to be part of the program, and also join us live on YouTube this morning. Okay, so we'll be moving at something that we have for this morning, something that is really affecting us. Like yesterday, I read a news that left me like feeling sad, and I kept wondering, when will all this end? When is it going to end? When are we ever going to look at the newspaper headlines and not see any bad stories? Although this is not just a Nigerian thing, it is a world thing, because everywhere you look around in the newspaper headlines, you see stories that affect people dying, people are being killed. So yesterday, a news about a woman that was burnt in Niger State. And what was the reason? They said that she made a very bad statement against Prophet Muhammad. We understand that words trigger. Yes, words trigger, but then we still understand that no matter what, in the life of no citizen has the right to take away the life of another citizen. No, you don't have the right. The law is against it. The Nigerian law is against it. There's right to life. So this thing that happened on Saturday in Niger State, the woman named Amaya, yes, that's her name, was said to have blasphemed. Was said to have blasphemed and made a derogatory comment against Prophet Muhammad, against the Islamic faith. And we've seen this over time of people she was burnt. Yes, she was burnt alive. She was burnt alive. We've seen people being burnt over time just because they made a statement that some faiths found very offensive. So it has resulted, the mob before the law could speak, the mob beat her and burnt her alive, and it's a very sad incident. It's very sad for something like this to keep happening in a country like this. in a country like Nigeria. It shows how backward Nigeria, some places in Nigeria, how backward they still are. Because how do you explain this? How do you explain this? Everyone cannot be in your religion. Everyone cannot, you cannot please everyone. You cannot do everything in as much as we respect religions. But there's something interesting about this story. The thing is that the lady that was killed as well was a Muslim, a very core one from reports. She was very core, a very core Muslim. But yet, just because of a statement that she made, she was killed. She was burnt alive. So this religious extremism in Nigeria is a lot. It's so bad. It's so bad. So we are asking, what was her crime? What was her crime? Just words. She just made a statement, and that was her crime, and that resulted to her life, loss of life. So when we are trying to, this is not just about religion, it's about jungle justice. Like, a lot is going wrong. This disease is eating deep into Nigeria, is something that has claimed so many lives. From Sokoto to Port Harcourt to Lagos to Kano, every state. We hear stories of people being burnt, some reported, some not reported. We hear people are being burnt because of a crime they committed, because of a statement they made. So we are looking into this morning. Why does it keep happening? Why is it happening? Why are lives being destroyed? And what has to be done? What do we do to stop it, to ensure that we stop it? Because until we confront this, every Nigerian remains unsafe. You might just be working there, you don't know who is listening to you, and you make a statement. The next thing, people start shouting and gather around. And how they even find tire around, we don't know. They just go and get tires, put it around your neck and burn you because of your words, because of what you said. So it's really sad. It didn't just happen on Saturday. It's not a new story. It's not a new thing. Because I want to take you back to 2022, a story that trended online, that trended in Nigeria, the story of Deborah Samuel. If you can remember, yes, in 2022, she was a student, a student of Shehu Shagari College of Education in Sokoto. So what happened in 2022? This lady, in her department group chat, sent a voice note, and the people felt it was offensive to the Islamic faith. And as a result of this, she was burnt alive. She died, yes, because of what she said. So we see that people can go extra mile to a distance of ensuring that they protect their faith. Whether people are being killed for it, they don't mind. All they know is, don't say this about my faith. Once you say it, you are now a criminal. We are going to burn you. We don't care. But then, in as much as, because the law is there to help us to conduct our lives, but who is enforcing the laws? Because until we hear that someone was apprehended for this act, someone was arrested and charged to court because of this act, and is making the headlines, maybe it can reduce some of these stories that we hear on the news. Because it's really sad when you open the newspaper, or you keep seeing this person was killed, this person died. That's what we keep seeing every day. So when are we going to rise up? When are we going to say no to all this? Because aside the religious side, there are still situations whereby even in our own southeast, we've had situations of people being burnt alive because they stole pepper in the market. Just go inside the market and accuse someone of theft. The next thing, people carry tires and petrol and fire and burn someone. Like, how do you stand the scene to watch someone else suffer? Why not take them to the police? Why not allow the law to do the whole thing? Why are you the one taking the law into your own hands? And we see that most of them, there's no repercussion. Either they are not found, either we don't see, we don't know the people that did it. And so life is lost and people are working, the people that did, they are working scot-free, they're enjoying their lives there. So this is a really sad thing that is happening. So families are in pain because of this. You know, before you accuse someone, before they try it, before you even know, because lives have been lost, innocent lives. You are not even sure if, was this really done? Did this person really do this? But I tell you, no amount of things, no amount of crime committed gives anybody the right to burn another life. No amount of crime, no matter what you say, no matter what you do, allow the law to do their work, to do their job. But we see that maybe the people have lost, is it that the people have lost trust in the law enforcement agencies, in the justice system of Nigeria? We do not know why this jungle justice keeps happening, why it keeps happening. We don't know why it keeps happening, and it's so terrible. It's so terrible that at a time like this in 2025, we still have a story like this on the newspaper headlines. It's so sad, because jungle justice is not just about blasphemy. It goes far beyond this religion in the northern states. Because when you look at it, we remember the story of the Alufo, the people, in the students in Port Harcourt in 2012. This also happened. They were burnt alive because they were accused of theft. And after investigations were made, they were innocent. So people are dying. Innocent people are dying. Because the security, where are the security agencies? Where are they? Where are they when something like this, you see crowds gathering to burn someone alive? Where are the security agencies? Are they not supposed to be around? Are they not supposed to be standby? Yes, they are supposed to be around. When are we going to learn the good things from other countries, from the developed countries, where they have patrol cars around? Any small thing, they can make calls and gather and ensure that no harm is being done. What about putting CCTV camera around? Because all this news or all these stories of, we don't know the people that did it, we are still looking, we are still trying to find out the people. With CCTV camera, you will be able to find them. Yes, it will be easier. So when is Nigeria going to grow? Is it that the country doesn't have money to ensure that all these things? Is it that the security personnel are understaffed, that they cannot be put in several locations to ensure that nothing like this is being done? What's the criminal law saying about jungle justice? It's really sad. Honestly, it's really sad, because a man accused of stealing, a woman accused of shoplifting, a child accused of picking pockets, is people gather around, and the next thing, they are burning the person alive. The tragedy, the pain that comes with it. Do you know what it means to, and the worst thing is that they video all this. Do you know what it means to see your child or your relative or your loved one in such condition? This is something that the government needs to look into. This is something that the law enforcement agencies need to look into and ensure that all this everyday crime reduces. Nobody is allowed to take the law into their own hands. Nobody is allowed to kill anybody. If you kill, you should suffer the repercussion. Because why does it keep happening? Because it's going to rain for a period of time, then it's going to die down and they continue again. So it's really very sad. It's very sad, honestly. It's very sad that it's happening. So in as much as this justice system might be very weak, we still need the criminals to go, like maybe they go free, but we still need them. Hand them over to the police, let them do all this thing. So if we continue this way, then every Nigerian is just one accusation away from death. Today is someone accused of stealing, tomorrow it could be your brother, it could be your sister, it could even be you. Hello, good morning.
Hello. My sister, good morning.
Good morning. You are welcome to High Voltage. Please, your name and your location.
Justice from Amman.
Okay, please go ahead.
Yeah. First of all, we have to change our mindset.
Okay.
The society needs to change their mindset on false alarm. Sometimes all these alarms are false. Anytime we see any alarm, we should be able to, first of all, judge whether that alarm is false or whether it is true or false. This is the problem we have. We jump into conclusions. Whenever an alarm is raised, people jump into conclusion. I grew up in Aba. I know one of just a street guy. All of a sudden, we hear he was lynched to death. Everybody ran. We run. Then when people were asked, you say that this guy thief. Nobody can even come out to say, I'm the person that he stole his thing.
Wow.
And at the end of the day, what happened? The guy is already gone.
That's the thing.
He's already gone. Somebody just raised an alarm, you didn't even investigate it. Investigation, you don't carry investigation immediately. Investigation takes a lot of time. You need to hear from both sides. You need to assess it. You need to know whether this person is wrong or this person is right. You don't just one person cannot be wrong. Sometimes people are wrong.
Yes, you're right.
Sometimes they are wrong.
Because there's freedom of fair hearing.
In a broad daylight. Then nobody came up to say he stole something from. I'm the one that he stole something from. Nobody. And he's already dead. So we are now condemning when it happens in the north, we condemn it. But it do happen here.
Yeah, it still happens here in the markets.
This thing is not about religion extremism. This is jungle justice, and it happens all over the country. It happens. So at times you give, even if a thief, you give him a fair hearing.
Yes, you're right.
You must hear him out. What happened? There are sometimes you forgive. Then sometimes you look at this person, know what prompts what caused the action, and you know whether that person should be forgiven or not. We need to do something about this.
Yes,
And our security agents, at the end of the day, they now go on to arrest innocent citizens who does not even know what happened. So this thing is, we should be condemned. We should reset our mindset. Whenever you hear any alarm, please know if that alarm is false, and don't conclude it on a day. You can keep that person and then you go about your investigation to know if truly that person did what he's been accused of.
Yeah.
It's quite unfortunate.
As well.
But God will help us all.
Yes, amen.
Justice from our mind.
Thank you so much, Justice. Oh, thank you so much for calling in. Honestly, it's a sad thing, like losing someone that you know, an innocent person, as just because of they decided to take the matters into their own hands. So this jungle justice is not justice at all. It is hate. It is killing us, and Nigeria must decide, and do we want to be a country where the law rules or where the mobs rule? Because the two cannot exist at all. The two cannot exist at all. So, and under the criminal law, the jungle justice is lawless. And the purpose of this law is to regulate the conduct of humans in the society. We just hope that Nigeria will become better. We just hope that the law enforcement agencies will do better and the security personnel as well will do better. So this is how we wrap it up today on High Voltage. And we've reviewed and analyzed the newspaper headlines, and we've also addressed this issue of jungle justice. This is High Voltage, your weekday news analysis show. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel on High Voltage News. Like, comment, and share the videos. And thank you for being part of the show. We'll meet again tomorrow by 9 a.m. Until then, keep hoping for a better Nigeria. Happy New Month once again. My name is Audrey.
Hello, Enugu, and welcome to Volt 104.3 FM, where music meets the voltage.